Ignore the haters. This is advice that is thrown around quite a lot in the self-help and self-improvement world. I genuinely can't tell you how many times I've read books or watched videos or gone to events or read in blog posts about how when it comes to the haters of the world, you should ignore whatever it is that they're saying because they're just jealous of the progress that you're making in life, and they are jealous of the journey that you're on and the outcomes that you're going to create in your life. And yeah, maybe sometimes that's true, but in this video I want to explain why you shouldn't ignore your haters. And there's mainly two reasons why I think that you shouldn't ignore your haters. Now, the first reason is because the term hater is quite a broad and nebulous concept. Yes, I just really wanted to use the word nebulous. Probably just saying broad really would have done there. But the point is, we have a strange tendency as human beings to classify pretty much any criticism that we have against us at times as, well, that person is just a hater, and if they're just a hater, then I don't have to listen. And this is a pretty unhelpful mindset to go through life with, because not everyone that provides criticism or advice or corrections is a hater in your life. For example, for most of my late teen, early adult, early 20 years, I pretty much wrote off all the advice of every member of my family as just haters, because to be honest, I just didn't like the advice or I didn't like the criticism. It had nothing to do with whether or not they were actually hating on me, and it had everything to do with the fact that I just didn't want to listen, and I had been told that, you know, I should ignore the haters and just live my truth. And that's not a particularly bright way to go through life. Which leads us into the second reason why you shouldn't ignore your haters. The first one was because not everyone that gives you criticism is going to be a hater. But the second one is that even if somebody is a hater, it doesn't mean that they're giving bad advice or bad faith criticism. Some of the most needed advice and criticism I've heard was from people that I didn't particularly like. For example, when I was in year 8 in school, one of the people in my friendship group, wasn't friends with this guy, told me that basically I would never become anything. And technically right now he's kind of correct, but it's something that I used as motivation to push myself to do things that he didn't think that I could do. Finish school, go to college, go to university, get a degree, get a job. You know, things like that. He didn't think that I would be able to do that. He was like, oh no, you'll never be able to do anything. You're just, you know, basically broken. And sure, technically I could classify him as a hater, but because I listened to what it was he said, knew that it was wrong, but then decided, well, I'm going to act in opposition to that, it was able to motivate me to move me forward. Now, that's a particularly bad or extreme example, but again, most criticisms, most advice can be useful in either one way or another. It is all about the way that you perceive that advice. Now, if someone is just going out of the way to try and hurt you because they're a bad person, then yeah, you can probably just ignore that. There's plenty of advice and criticism you can get from much better sources, but I don't think you should just throw the baby out with the bathwater with this. First of all, again, not everyone is going to be a hater, and most criticism that you get will be useful to you in one way or another, even if it's just learning what criticism is useful to you or not. I learned that criticism like that from that guy isn't really that useful to me, but I was able to kind of transmute it into useful motivational energy, for lack of a more concrete way to put it. I would encourage you to never just write off advice or criticism just because it makes you feel bad about yourself though, because most criticism or judgment is going to make you feel bad about yourself. It's just the way that it is. You complete a project at work and your boss, points out 5 or 6 things that are wrong with it. Yeah, sure, maybe they're doing it just because they're a bad person, but they might also be pretty good salient criticisms, the whole broken clock being right twice a day thing. And when you just write off all criticism and judgment as hate, just as a blanket statement, you are removing the possibility that you could learn something from that. Again, this isn't to say just let anyone say anything to you. Yeah, it's all fine. Don't even worry about it. It's not even a problem. Oh, they said that you should just give up on all your dreams. Yeah, listen, yeah, it could be valid advice. Instead, it's about learning how to discern what is good advice for you, and just writing it all off isn't going to be any good, and just accepting it all as well isn't going to be any good. It's about learning how to take on the advice and criticism that is going to be useful for you in order to progress in your life. So I hope that's all made sense. If you have any questions, any thoughts, make sure to leave them in the comment section down below. If this is the kind of content that you like, that you're into, make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video, because every bit of engagement really helps. Even if you don't like the video, dislike it as well, that helps too. But once again, thank you very much for making it all the way to the end of this video, and I look forward to seeing you in future videos here on this channel very soon.